Welcome back to our channel, where we explore the most compelling stories from within the British royal family. Today's discussion centers on a particularly sensitive royal matter, one where institutional duty collides with family loyalty, and the Crown's demands test the very fabric of sibling bonds. We're examining the complex situation involving Prince Andrew, Duke of York, and the firm stance taken by his brother, King Charles III. King Charles has maintained a resolute position regarding his younger brother, methodically distancing Andrew from royal privileges following his public controversies. Yet recent developments reveal an unexpected turn. Princess and Prince Edward have reportedly stepped forward as intermediaries, attempting to bridge the widening gap between the monarch's institutional responsibilities and their brother's increasingly difficult circumstances. This intervention is particularly significant given Edward's unwavering support of the king. Their involvement suggests the situation has reached a critical juncture where family welfare and monarchical reform stand in sharp tension. Before we continue, please support our work by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and enabling notifications for future royal coverage. Your engagement makes these in-depth analyses possible. To understand the significance of this family intervention, we must first examine King Charles's approach since ascending the throne. The king has pursued a clear vision, a streamlined, efficient monarchy with an unblemished reputation. This modernization requires Andrew's complete removal from public royal life, given the reputational damage associated with his past controversies. Andrew has already lost the public use of his royal titles and his military honors. What continues now is a systematic, almost methodical erasure of his royal identity, a public institutional separation designed to protect the crown's integrity. This ongoing process has created immense strain, placing Andrew under extraordinary psychological pressure through loss of status, public scrutiny, and persistent uncertainty about his future. Central to this escalating tension is Andrew's residence. Royal Lodge, the impressive Windsor estate Andrew has called home for years, has become a focal point of conflict. Persistent discussions about requiring Andrew to vacate the property have intensified the pressure he faces. The situation is legally complex. Andrew reportedly holds an ironclad lease on Royal Lodge, making forced eviction challenging. Nevertheless, pressure continues mounting, with the king reportedly unwilling to subsidize the property's substantial maintenance costs for a non-working royal. For Andrew, Royal Lodge represents far more than accommodation. It symbolizes his remaining connection to royal life and his former standing within the family. The constant threat of displacement, despite contractual protections, is reportedly taking a severe toll on his mental health. Against this backdrop of mounting pressure, Princess and Prince Edward have taken on the delicate role of mediators. According to royal commentator Richard Kay of the Daily Mail, these senior royals are working behind the scenes to address a fundamental conflict: the king's public obligations versus the private need for family compassion. Kay confirms their active involvement, stating that Anne and Edward are functioning as crucial intermediaries between Charles and Andrew. He emphasizes their primary concern. "I think if anything they've been concerned about their brother's well-being, how he's handling this intense pressure. You can't forget there is a human being at the center of this." This focus on Andrew's humanity is essential. While Charles must prioritize the institution, and Edward, bound by decades of shared history, appear focused on their brother's welfare. They're exercising what Kay describes as a duty of care toward Andrew. Edward, who reportedly shares a closer relationship with Andrew than Charles does, has been particularly concerned. Both siblings, known for their pragmatism and understanding of royal obligations, are troubled not only by Andrew's distress, but by how the situation is being managed overall. They recognize that while removing titles and duties protects the monarchy, completely devastating a family member psychologically could have serious long-term consequences for the family itself. This mediation carries risks. Anne and Edward are exemplary working royals whose service records are impeccable. By intervening, they risk the king's displeasure or appearing to undermine his authority. Their willingness to accept this risk underscores both the severity of Andrew's situation and their conviction that boundaries must exist to protect his well-being. Beyond the material threat of losing Royal Lodge, another action carries profound symbolic weight. the quiet removal of Andrew's banner from St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle. This seemingly small gesture holds immense significance. St. George's Chapel serves as the spiritual home of the Order of the Garter, Britain's most ancient and prestigious order of chivalry. Andrew was appointed to this order in 2006, and the chapel displays banners representing each knight and lady companion above their designated seats. Andrew's banner has been removed without fanfare, a profound act of public humiliation. While he retains the Duke of York title, removing the banner signals his definitive exclusion from the monarchy's most venerable ceremonial life. For someone who defined himself through military service and royal rank, this removal arguably cuts deeper than losing any patronage. It declares that he no longer belongs in the sacred space reserved for the crown's most loyal servants. The timing, occurring amid discussions about his residence and mental state, intensifies the psychological pressure, reinforcing that the separation is absolute and permanent. Throughout this ordeal, Andrew continues to vigorously deny any wrongdoing. However, his denial doesn't alter King Charles's institutional imperative to protect the monarchy from further scandal associations. The conflict operates on multiple levels: Charles's duty to the crown versus duty to his brother, the institution's demand for integrity versus the family's obligation of care, Andrew's assertion of innocence versus public consensus about his suitability for royal life. And Edward, in their mediating role, navigate this impossible triangle. They're not seeking Andrew's reinstatement. They understand that's politically impossible. Instead, they're advocating for humane boundaries, arguing that institutional protection shouldn't completely destroy a brother's health and stability. Their intervention highlights a critical tension in the modern monarchy. How does a family serving as a public institution manage deeply damaging private crises? When does public distance override basic family obligations? The role Edward have assumed testifies to the enduring, though strained, bonds among Queen Elizabeth II's surviving children. They're operating in their mother's shadow, attempting to maintain family cohesion while Charles executes difficult but necessary actions for the monarchy's future. Currently, the situation remains in tense stalemate. Charles maintains his firm resolve, driven by national duty. Andrew remains isolated, his well-being deteriorating under eviction threats and symbolic erasure. And Edward stand between them, reminding the king that even the family's most disgraced member remains their brother. Kay's observation that these senior royals are very concerned about how the king is handling the situation suggests significant internal friction. A subtle but distinct disagreement within the royal family's core about how royal justice should be administered. This story continues to unfold. Royal Lodge, Andrew's financial security, and the long-term impact on his well-being remain critical issues. And Edward's intervention may not halt the king's plans, but it may soften their execution, ensuring necessary institutional measures are administered with familial empathy. This delicate balance between duty and devotion raises profound questions about power, family, and public life. What's your perspective on this unprecedented intervention? Should Edward prioritize their brother's well-being, or should Charles remain absolutely firm in protecting the crown's image? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this analysis valuable, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and join us for our next exploration of the British royal family's ongoing developments. Thank you for watching, and until next time.